Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, October 24th, 2021. My name is Crystal Dawn Hill, and I'm doing something today on video for the first time. I'm going to mentally unpack an epiphany in real time. An epiphany that I just had, I just became aware of, and I'm going to talk it out verbally and record it instead of just doing it within myself on paper or in my mind or on the phone with a friend. So this epiphany is in reference to something that I was trying to work through on my own yesterday, and it is about the soul contract between my divine masculine and me. Now, I know sometimes people say that twins don't have a soul contract with each other, and I understand that. But we do have a soul contract, and our twin journey and the things that unfold in that journey are part of our personal contract that we share with our twin. Like, we have the same contract, not a contract with each other like we would with a soulmate or a karmic or whatever. It is an agreement with each other. It's the contract that we laid out, like the roadmap that we laid out for our journey before we came in. Okay, so my dilemma that I was dealing with yesterday was something that we talked about verbally with one another early on after our meeting, and it's something that I verbally agreed to not share with anyone. And the reason that I'm struggling with that is because I feel like it's a contractual agreement that I made, but it's weighing on me really heavily. So I've been wanting to talk about it for several weeks, and it all escalated and built up inside of me yesterday. And I didn't want to go against that contract and actually tell somebody about it unless my divine masculine and I talked about it first. And because I'm not getting any response from him, I have really no choice. If I want to honor the contract, which I do, I have no choice but to hold it inside. So an epiphany that I had today was bringing me aware of an understanding of why it sometimes feels like our contracts or our journey isn't unfolding. It has to do with these contracts. So part of his contract with me was I'm trying to find the right way to word this to make sure it's completely accurate without really being too presumptuous about him. Going by what I just know inside intuitively about our connection. There are certain guidelines that we each have to abide by in order for the connection to be stable and steady and to continue on in this lifetime with each other. And I don't want to break that, and neither does he, from what I can tell. But sometimes we unknowingly kind of veer off of the path a little bit, but not so much that we can't recover and come back to it. And I feel that's kind of where he is right now. But my video wasn't really to talk about my connection with my divine masculine. My video was for the purpose of unpacking this epiphany so that my audience can hear this happening and not just people that I'm connected with on a one-on-one personal level. Okay, so the epiphany about the contract is this. It has to do with the sequence of time and how on this journey things don't always unfold sequentially. They sometimes seem like they're unfolding out of chronological order. And I think that's what my epiphany is going to lead to once I start actually unpacking it out loud. Okay, so what I realized is the reason that it sometimes feels like things aren't moving the way we want them to move along in the progression of our journey and our connection with our divine partner is that our story, the actual unfoldment of our story with our divine partner, is being written in real time. It is being co-created in real time in partnership with our divine partner and with higher self. But not only with higher self, with all celestial beings in our direct line of command, so to speak, without the correct terminology. Like a hierarchy type of command, like angels, guides, higher self, with each different level of celestial being that is overseeing our journey and our connection. We're co-creating our story in real time in conjunction with all of those beings, because we have guides, but we have guides at different levels. Like we have a personal guide. We have a guide that is collective between us and our twin. We have a guide that is collective between our twin connection and other twin connections who impact each other's journey. Like if you're friends with someone who's also on their twin journey, you will share a guide that is overseeing both connections or all of the connections that are going to impact you. So we're co-creating our story on all different levels. And the more people that we're meant to touch or reach or impact, the more beings who will be, who will be vested in us and our journey. So it almost has to be written in real time because things are changing so quickly and so swiftly and so rapidly. Like last weekend, there were 2 unions that happened, and when a union happens in 3D and something else was slated to happen instead, and the union happens on short notice, then that always takes precedence over every other event in anyone's life who's connected with the twins that are coming into union. So if a decision, like, it's almost like, and remember, I'm just unpacking this as I'm speaking, so none of this was premeditated. It's all coming out organically as it's flowing through me. So the twin, and I've had this knowledge inside of me for a very long time, and I never knew quite how to articulate it. So it's kind of beautiful that it's coming out this way. um, and I'm not on camera because it's still early. I'm still having coffee, and that kind of thing. So I'm just giving you a view of the trees and my candles in the window. So twins sort of have the last word in what happens. So if two twins decide they're going to unite in 3D, and this union happens on short notice, then all other incidences that were slated to happen have to get recalibrated in order for that union to happen. So many people in the monad with the twins who came into union, all of those people felt shaken up. And I know this, I can attest to this firsthand because I felt it before I knew about it. And I have people in my circle who were feeling it and have no knowledge of these people at all who came into union. So because we're all connected with each other, we all felt it, whether we knew what was going on or not. And what often happens with twins who have chosen to not pursue union, or who are living a very 3D lifestyle, they're gonna blame their feelings on whatever's happening in their 3D circumstances. They're not going to understand that it's something more subtle. So I'm not sure exactly how I got on that part, but going back to what I was saying about contracts and my revelation is that because our story is being written in real time, the reason that things seem to come to a standstill, or they become stagnant, or maybe sometimes it might even feel like our divine partner is going a little bit backward in the wrong direction. It's all happening to facilitate the progression of the story. So in my personal situation, yesterday, when I wanted to talk about what was bearing very heavily on my heart, I felt very held back and very restrained. And now I realize that I had to feel that, because that was in support of other things that are going on, that and this was a real vision that I had. God's literally sitting up there and it is just a vision, I realize that. It's metaphorical. He's sitting up there at his table with his pen and paper, just having the pen, holding it still, again, resting against the paper, or resting just above the paper, just waiting for the twins, the collective twins, to decide what that next word or phrase or paragraph is going to be. So I didn't even realize at the time, when I first had this revelation about our story being written in real time, I didn't even realize that that correlated with my dilemma about the soul contracts until I was starting to write a post about it. And I left the post hanging to come on and do this video. So just to recap, because I don't really feel anything further flowing through me about it, just to recap on what I'm saying here, because maybe something else will come as I'm speaking. Our story is being written in real time. Your personal story, your story with your divine partner, your story with every individual in your life, your everything, every encounter, every situation, every thing that you endeavor to do, it's predestined. We decide before we come in how it will unfold. But these little details and the nuances and the subtle shifts that take place, the sudden shifts that take place among the twins, the twins coming in union take precedence over other twins. So if other twins are staying stagnant, like my twin and R at the moment, and another pair of twins suddenly becomes ready to get into union, and that happens without very good notice, then that story gets recalibrated in order to stay on course. Like if we're using GPS and we make a wrong turn, then GPS recalibrates the map or the route to keep us on course so that we don't veer off in a different direction or go in a circle or, wind up on the other side of the country or the world. Oh my gosh, that just gave me another revelation, but I'm not going to start talking about that revelation. That will be for myself to unpack privately, or for me to do in a separate video like this, if people enjoy hearing this. This may be the only video I ever do in which I'm unpacking a revelation or an epiphany in real time. But I just wanted to give my small audience something different, something that I share on a personal level with people quite often, if they have the patience and tolerance to listen and wait during my pauses of reflection and finding the words for what I want to convey. So thank you all very much for your patience in listening and for following along my journey. I wish you all the best along your journey as well, and I hope you have a great day.